focus. UPSC has declared 2021 Civil Services exams results, and women have clinched the top 3 slots. Delhi's Shruti Sharma, Ankita Agarwal and Gamini Sangla have secured the top 3 ranks in UPSC. Earlier today, Mirror Now's Ela spoke to UPSC topper Shruti Sharma, who shared her journey with us.
What was your struggle and how do you feel now?
I think it was a long journey, the UPSC preparation, and there were constant ups and downs. But it was the support of my friends, my family, as well as my teachers who finally led me to this ultimate result.
When you got this news, how was your reaction? What was your reaction? With whom you shared it?
My first reaction was of disbelief, and then gradually it began to sink in, and I'm definitely very happy that my parents are happy, people around me are happy. So that is definitely, there's definitely a sense of relief and happiness right now.
Who was the first person you shared this news?
It was my mother who I shared this news with, and then my nanny.
Can you shed some light on how have you prepared over this time, and was this your first attempt, and what was your journey like?
This was my second attempt, and the preparation journey was like any other person's journey. So I made sure that I had a certain set of sources from which I relied upon. I limited my sources. I made my own notes. I practiced a lot of answer writing for my mains examination, and I think that's what ultimately helped me.
So who were the people or the institutes who helped you through this journey? To whom would you credit your success?
I think one institution which I would definitely like to credit is Jamia Millia Islamia's residential coaching academy, where I found the right environment and the right sort of people who could guide me in this entire process.
What is your advice for those who are still preparing, or that the UPSC exam 2022 is coming up? What do you have to say?
I just like to say that I think you should stick to this examination only if you have an inner motivation to do it, and not because of any external pressures, because it is a long journey. It is definitely a difficult journey. It requires a lot of mental labor as well, apart from actually studying. So that sort of consistency you can only achieve if you have an inner motivation.
What is your future plan? Where do you want to join? What cadre you want to join?
My first preference is in the administrative services in UP cadre, but I'd be glad to serve in any capacity that is asked of me.
So what is your aim? How do you want to contribute in this society?
I would like to do anything to the best of my ability in serving the nation, and education and health are some certain areas which I would like to work on.
All right, so there you heard the topper herself, Shruti Sharma, speaking to Mirror Now. To understand this better and to make sense of this incredible feat, I'm joined by a special guest on my show. I'm joined by Vrinda Sarup, who's a former Education Secretary. Ma'am, thank you so much for making time and speaking to Mirror Now. While this is an incredible achievement, all top 3 slots taken by women candidates, but I will talk about something else. In 1970, women made up 9% of those entering the IAS. That proportion rose to just 31% by 2020. Currently, 21% of serving IAS officers are women. This is the data I'm quoting from the National Informatics Center. How do you view this achievement? How do you view this issue of women representation?
Actually, I'm totally delighted that the numbers are going up, because in my time, it was only 13% in the IAS, and we were just 13% of our batch. But today, these figures are so heartening, and to see the girls in the top ranks in large numbers is extremely laudable, and it makes us proud as a country. So I think this is reflective of 2-3 things. One is that more and more girls are reaching higher education, are taking to education in a big way, and that's giving us numbers in competition where very successful women are competing and succeeding. The second is, I think it reflects the determination of the girls, their self-confidence, their ability to reach for the sky and to do what they want to do and achieve what they want set out to achieve. So I think that's extremely heartening, and it's a great, great, a signal for women in India that everything is attainable, and this is a free and fair competitive exam, and they succeed wonderfully in that. And I think, thirdly, it is also reflecting of increasing support and confidence in women's leadership, whether it's parents, it's the families, it's the community at large, whether it is places of work, places where they compete. They compete on their own terms. They compete with ability and competence. And I think that is getting increasingly recognized and respected in society.
Right, right. That's a great value addition. Ma'am, I want to understand from you. A lot of people say, why bring in the gender? Why talk about this? It depends on how you serve the society. But I don't think so. The gender representation is very important, and you're the best person who could elaborate on that. Could you please share your experience and tell us why women matter? And do you think that the expectation to balance their roles at home, which unfortunately is a reality, and the role that women are presumed to actually live with their careers, do you think that there is a bias and challenges that women face more than men?
So you raised two questions. Let me answer your first one, first, which is about, yes, women bring to the workforce a sensitivity and a different outlook. And so I think governance in India, with more and more women in the bureaucracy, more and more women in the IAS and the IPS, I think the women carry a far more sensitive outlook. They are more nurturing. They are more sensitive to public grievances. I'm not saying men are not, but I think women especially are definitely more responsive. And they have a worldview. They're able to cut through a lot of the information which flows to them, and get to the issues which really matter to the public. And above all, they bring a great sensitivity in administration to the cause of women. Women who have not yet found a voice, women who are still struggling with societal and patriarchal, values around them, and they find it difficult to break through. And yet, they are 50% of our population. They hold up half the sky. They have lots of problems also in the field. So you see, women are definitely. Then I think the second point is that women are also, they are able to be role models. They are able to, when we used to go into the villages and we used to ask the little girls what they want to be, many of them would first say only teacher and doctor. And then there was a change. You would see them saying, no, I want to be a collector. I want to be a tehsildar. I want to be this. So their aspirational role to, bringing aspiration into society is another very, very rich value which women in the workplace do signal. And so I think both in terms of diversity in administration, a certain gender sensitivity which they bring, their responsiveness, these are very, very rich values which women bring to the table in administration. The second part of your question, yes, women have to still balance home and work life. But I think things are changing for the better. I know my colleagues at stage when I joined the IS used to struggle with these, but manage. And there were helpful husbands, there were helpful families who helped to them to be able to balance this work life and home pressures. But I think things are changing. What I see of my younger colleagues now, their husbands are far more adjusting and adaptive. Administrations are far more responsive today and try to keep, the family together as much as they can, and also be able to be sensitive to the needs of the young couple with growing children and so on. And there are today lots of tools which are available, which were probably not there earlier. IT technology is one, which has enabled administration, has smoothened many things in administration where running and huffing around, it can be mitigated to an extent. And so I think the environment is generally far more supportive of the
Right.
challenges which women face.
All right. Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing these insights with us and joining us on such an important story, a story that needs to be told again and again to this society.